Alright, boys and girls, welcome to Growing Guitar. Shawn Mendes here. Beautiful name, beautiful artist, great songs. And this song is called Why? Because we just have to have his song here on Growing Guitar. So this one belongs to one of his latest releases, and it belongs to an album that's coming in October, I believe. 18th or so. So why? I need to cover this one. So let's do that together. No need for any capo here. So let's go clean on the fretboard and go over the chords. So we're gonna start with E minor, and right from the start here we have two variations of the E minor. So we're gonna look at this first, the standard E minor, and it goes open E, second A, second D, open G, open B, and open E. We also have this E minor. All right, so I'm gonna explain why and when to use it later, but first let's go over it. And it goes open E, then 7th A, 5th D, and then open G, open B, and open E. All right, so two versions of E minor. Going on the next chord here with the D F chord. And that is basically the D, but with an F sharp in the bass. So it goes second on E, open A, second D, open D, second G, third B, and open E. So that is the D F chord. Second E, open A, open D, second G, third B, and open E. And nothing else. That's the D F. Over to the G chord. And it goes third on E, second on A, open D, open G, third B, and third E. Then we have the two chords left here, the C and the D. We can actually go with the C first, and it goes third on A, second on D, open G, first B, and open E. That's the C, and then we have the D chord in the end here, and that is actually just keep the same shape here. You're holding as the C, and you just take it to this position. That will be the D chord, and that goes 5th on A, 4th on D, open G, 3rd B, and open E. So exact same shape as C at this position, 2 frets closer to you, to your body, and there you have the final chord, the D. All right, so 5 chords, 2 variations of E minor, and we're gonna look at the strumming to begin with. We're gonna do that with E minor, that's the first chord, and I suggest you go with this version. And I'm gonna explain for you, and you're gonna understand pretty soon why. So grab that E minor, and one string around will be down, down, up, like this. Okay, so the first two downs, the first down of it, more on the bass string, and the second down, you go down and play more on the higher notes down here. So, and then up, in the high mid range area. That's one string around. So down, down, up, down, up. Right, and a couple rounds to get the feeling for a rhythm. Goes like this. A little bit faster, and we're searching for somewhat of the standard tempo, and it goes like this. All right. So you have to practice and work your speed up gradually. Now, into the actual song, and we will start with the verse play. And it starts with E minor, and I suggest you go with this version of E minor, since the next chord will be the D F, and you have it over here. If you go with this version, then you need to jump all over to this position and then continue down here. It's not necessary. Go with the standard E minor, and then you have everything there, very convenient. So E minor, 1 string around, then D F, 1 string around, and then G, 2 string rounds. Okay, that's the first part. Then you continue with another round of G. So G1, D1, and C2. Then you continue with another round of C1, then D1 and E minor 2, and then you're gonna play G2 and C2. So that's a long chord progression there, and it builds up in the same way I just structured it. So 3 chords, E minor 1, DF1, G2, then G1, D1, C2, then C1, D1, E minor 2, and then G2, C2. I'm going to take you through this. I'm going to take down the tempo a little bit and just mention the chords. So let's start with E minor 1, DF, G2, G1, D1, C2, C1, D1, E minor 2, G2, and C2. One more time. So play it for 2 rounds for you. All right, and that is how you're gonna play it in the first verse. Notice here, I played the E minor in the beginning here. Sometimes I also played this version, the standard E minor, in the E minor that comes in the end of the verse chord progression round. But then I also switch it up with this E minor. And that is actually how Shawn plays there if you look at the music video. So the first E minor is played up here. As I mentioned before, very convenient since you have the chords around it. But then when you come to C1, then D1, then comes the E minor of this version very naturally. So it just goes like this, all right? So that E minor in the end of the chord progression here is used with this version. It's up to you guys. If you think it's easier to just follow one E minor, then sound-wise, there's almost no differences there, so you can go either way. So that is the first verse. You play it for 2 rounds, and yeah, the last C in the second round here, when you play this chord progression, the last C there is played with just 1 down and the pause. Instead of playing C2 as you played it in the first round, then the last C in the second round, just 1 down and the pause. That pause builds up for the chorus part. And we're going to look at that now. So you're going to continue the same strumming here. Now, chords will be C2, G2, D2, and E minor 2. And then C2, G2, and D2. And that's it. For only that round, it goes like this. G2, D2, and E minor 2. C2, G2, and D2. And then after this, it goes right into the second verse. So no break, pauses, or that. Just go straight into the second round after that first chorus, sorry. So second round now, second verse. It's played in the same way. Only difference here is just half as long. Only 1 round of that chord progression. Played in the same way, and that takes us to the second chorus. All right. So the second chorus is played in the exact same way as well as the first one. The only difference here is the last D chord. We play that for D2, remember? Now you're gonna play it for 4 rounds instead. So D4. After the second chorus comes a bridge part, and you're gonna play that bridge part after the second chorus about 1 minute and 31 seconds into the song. You're gonna play it C2, G2, and D4. You're gonna play that for 2 rounds, that chord progression. So C2, G2, and D4. Another round. And that is the bridge part. Then you go back and play another verse, the third verse now, and it's played in the same way as the second for only 1 round. All right, played in the exact same way, 1 round, And that takes us to the final parts of the song, the third chorus. And that is playing the exact same way as the second chorus. The difference there is the last D chord. Instead of playing 2 rounds in first, then now you play again in the same way as the second chorus for 4 rounds. So D4. And after this third chorus, we have the outro part left. And that outro part is played in the exact same way as a bridge part we just looked at. It was C2, G2, and D4. You play for 2 rounds, and that D4 just ends the song suddenly there. And that is how you handle Shawn Mendes' Why. Great song, guys. Fifth guitar, obviously, very, very well coming out from Mr. Mendes. That's guitar, yeah, 100%. So give it a try. Easy chords, very easy chords, actually. No need for any capo as well, and just one strumming pattern. Perfect. All right. So yeah, if you enjoyed this tutorial, please show me that. Give me a thumb up. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. And yeah, make my day. Thank you so much for your support, guys, and play tuned.